Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salam ala sharafil anbiya wal mursaleen wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma infa'ni bima 'allamtani wa 'allimni ma yanfa'uni wa zidni ilman. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa ahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay. FTA4. Okay, so quick review of the first three sessions. Parts of speech 3, status 3, rafa nasb jar. Parts of speech ism fail harf. Okay, Muslimun table, first column all singular, un an in. Second column all dual, ani aini aini. Last column all plural, una ina and ina. And then finally, we looked at the Muslimatun table. Okay, when you add a tamarbuta in the singular form, Muslimun becomes Muslimatun and so on, Muslimatan and Muslimatin. In the dual, you add tani and taini, it becomes dual feminine, Muslimatani, Muslimataini, Muslimataini. And in the plural form, you add atun and atin, making it Muslimatun, Muslimatin, Muslimatin. Atun, atin, plural. Tani, taini, dual, feminine. Okay, that's how you make the masculine word into feminine. Most of the masculine words can be turned into feminine by just adding tamarbuta in its singular form, or tani, taini in a dual, or atun, atin in the plural. We also looked at that the three statuses, rafa, nasb, jar. Rafa is indicated by dhamma in the singular, by ani in dual, and by una in the plural. Nasb is indicated by an in singular, and aini in dual, and ina in plural. Similarly, jar is indicated by in, muslimin or muslimatin, and it is indicated by aini or taini in the dual, and ina or atin in the plural. Rafa means doer, nasb means detail, jar means after, of. I think that's all is in the nutshell of the first three session. Let me, unless anybody has any question, you can shoot, else I will just start the slide. Okay. Let me share it. Okay, and this is okay. So hopefully you are all able to see the shared slide. What do you see on the screen?
Session 4.
Okay, fine. Session number 4. Now here is your table for your study. The male and the female, masculine and the feminine table in one slide. Okay, so that you can do a comparative study and memorize this both. Although by now you should have already memorized it. Okay, so this is the masculine table on the top 3 rows and the feminine table on the bottom, and whatever are the differences are indicated in the red color. The black is the common part that keeps changing. The important stuff is the ending red part that you should pay attention to. Whenever you are focusing on an Arabic word, your first attention should be on the last part. What does it tell me about the grammar and other stuff rather than the vocabulary? Okay, fine.
Sir,
Yes.
screen नहीं दिख रहा है.
Screen नहीं दिख रहा है? Is everybody else able to see it?
Yes, दिख रहा है sir.
Yes. So आपको लॉग ऑफ करके लॉग इन करना पड़ेगा मैम. इश्यू आपके पास है. लॉग ऑफ करके लॉग इन करें, इंशाल्लाह ठीक हो जाएगा. Okay, fine. So let's quickly start with the small exercise so that you understand this rafa, nasb, jar, singular, dual, plural. Okay, and what do you call it as number, gender, and masculine, feminine. So I'm going to show you some words. You are supposed to tell me the status of it, the number of it, and the gender of it. Okay. So this Okay, so this is better. Okay, fine. Let's. Okay, here is the first word on the screen. Okay, somebody read it quickly.
Annasu.
Annasu. Okay, Annasu. What do you think is the number on this?
Singular.
Singular. Status? Rafa. Status? Rafa. What about gender?
There is masculine.
Masculine. For those of you who didn't understand, why did we say masculine? Because there is no feminine sign, tamarbuta, that we have studied so far. Why did we say Rafa? Because it has Dhamma on it. Okay. And why did you say singular? Because there is no ani, aini, tani, taini, una, ina, atun, atin. That means the word is singular. That's the default. That's how you analyze the word. It's just, so before these 3 sessions, if this word was given to you, annasu, and you were asked to provide some information, I don't think you would be able to provide any information about it apart from the meaning. Anyway, we are not using the meaning. But now today, inshallah, you are able to tell that this is Rafa, which means it could be doer. It is singular in number and it is masculine. And there is some more, which I have not yet discussed it. There is some more information. So there is so much information packed into this word without knowing the meaning. That's the power of Arabic. I have been pointing it out. So you should be appreciative of it, that you are, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose you and we together to learn this powerful language and understand it, and the language of the final revelation. Not everybody gets a chance, not everybody gets a hidayah to learn this. He has given us a chance, we should make most of it. Only chosen people get to come to his house, make salah, read his book, understand his book. So only Allah chooses it. So if He has chosen us, we should make most of it. Annasu, Rafa, singular, masculine. Here is another word. Please, go ahead. Wahidatin. What's the gender on this? Quickly.
Feminine.
Feminine. There is a tamarbuta here. Number. Singular. No tani, taini and atonatin. So singular. Okay. Status. Jar.
No, sorry, jar.
Status is jar because there is a kasra tanween. Kasra means jar. Good. Okay, those who are not understanding, please ask. Don't go with the class. Not everybody is Einstein. Everybody has a different IQ and EQ. So you should be worried about yourself, not about the class. If the whole class is understanding, you are not, you should raise it. Okay? Don't go by the class. Okay, here is the third one. Read it. Al-Khabisa. Everybody can read, not only a couple of students. Al-Khabisa. Gender. Masculine. Status. Status is nasab. Okay, status is nasab. And the number? Singular. Singular. Okay, next. Quickly. Huben. Huben. Number. Gender. Masculine. Masculine, singular, nasb. Masculine, singular, nasb. Okay, here is an interesting word. Khalidina. Okay, number. Plural, because it matches with Muslimina. So those who understood and memorized the Muslimina table, they will quickly, okay, and the ending matches with Muslimina. So it is plural. What's the gender? Masculine. What's the status? Nasparjar. Remember, there are 2 inas. Without context, I can't tell. So if you don't give me the context, I'm going to say Nasparjar. Unless you give me the context. So this is Nasparjar. Okay, next. Al-Unthayaini. Aini. Dual. That should be first thing that should pop out. Dual, masculine. Right? Dual, masculine. And what's the status? Nasparjar again. Aini is twice. Nasparjar. What about this?
Plural, masculine, Rafa.
Very good. Una gives you all 3 things. Plural, masculine, Rafa. Where did you get this all? Una. Al-Akrabu had no role to play in the properties. See that? If you change Al-Akrabu to something else, still the answer remains same. Because the answer is dependent on the ending. The beginning is vocabulary which keeps changing. I am interested, I am here in this class after the suhoor to learn the grammar part of it, not the vocabulary. Vocabulary is a byproduct. It comes automatically. Don't worry about it. People think understanding the meaning is important so that I can understand the Quran. Well, isolated meanings don't make sentences. So you don't understand it. So what the important thing is, ending of it. What's the ending of the word? Una, rafa, una, masculine, una, plural. All those answers are coming from there. Okay, next. Quickly.
Masculine.
Nihilatan.
Rafa,
Is
feminine.
feminine.
Oh. Somebody said rafa. Somebody said rafa. No rafa.
Nasb.
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 Nasb, singular, feminine. Nasb, singular, feminine. Here's the last word. Al-walidani. Dual.
Dual masculine Rafa.
Rafa.
Yes, dual, masculine, rafa. Dual because ani, masculine because ani, rafa because of ani. You know, in Urdu we say, ye mere walidain hain, ye mere walidain. Actually the word is walidaini. Because why are we telling wali? Because these are two parents, mother and father. So walidain. We don't pronounce the last harkat, so we say walidain. That's how in Urdu. Actual word is from Arabic walidaini. Walidaini. And you are asked, you are giving the detail. Who are this? These are my parents. So you are telling the word as a detail. That's why it is aini. If your parents did something for you, you would say walidani. Then they will be rafa. Understand? So walidani, walidain. Dono ka meaning same hai. It depends how am I using the word. Okay? So walidain, walidani. That's it. Okay, good. MashaAllah. Any questions, anybody? Not understanding anything? Okay, good. Either everything is understood or nothing is understood. I will go with the first one. Okay, status. So from the last 3-4 sessions, the only thing that we have studying the mostly is the status part of it. The status part of it. Now, every ism, every noun in the Arabic word has 4 properties. You should always, this is very important. Every time you come across a noun, a verb, a noun or say ism in the Arabic language, you should always worry about, okay, this is the ism. What is his status? What's his number? What's his gender? What's his type? These are the 4 properties. The first property is status. Status means, is it rafa, nasb or jar? Is it doer, detail or after off? What's the second property? What's his number? Every ism should have a number. It should be either plural, dual or singular. And then it should have a gender, either masculine or feminine. Does not matter whether it's a living thing or a dead thing or a mobile thing or whatever it is. It has to have a gender. And the last thing that we have not discussed so far, there is a 4th property which we will discuss shortly inshallah. That's called as type. Type is not a complex thing. It's a very straightforward. That's why we don't worry about it. We will discuss shortly. But these are the 4 things that you should worry about every time you come across this ism. If you are able to figure out these 4 things, your basics is okay. Your basics about isms is okay because you are able to take any ism just like what we did just now. We took all the words were from Qur'an. The words that you saw, they were not from the marketplace. They were from the Qur'an. So if you are able to figure out the status, the number, the gender and shortly inshallah the type, that's it. That's the basic of the isms. You have understood it. There's nothing more to it. If you are able to figure out these 4 properties, then inshallah you will be able to understand the sentences which are noun based, which are ism based. You will be inshallah. So this is the basics of it. The 4 properties. Every time you come across a ism, you should tell yourself, okay, what's the status of it? What's the number? What's the gender? What's the type? Okay, fine. Now I'm going to give you a short exercise, quickly, interesting exercise for you to make sure that you have understood the status properly. Status, number, gender, of course type you don't worry about right now. Status, number, gender will be tested in this exercise. Now I told you, what is the Arabic word for student? Talib. We are going to use this word. Okay, this is the base word you are going to use. I am going to show you sentence in English in which the word student would be used, and it could be used in any form. It could be used in dual, plural, singular, as a doer, as a detail, whatever it is. You look at the English sentence, you understand it, and then tell me if this sentence was written in Arabic, how would the word student be written? Not the whole sentence, you don't need to translate it, just translate the underlined student part, how that would be written in Arabic. Okay? Yes.
Yes.
Shad, brother Shad, right?
Yes.
Okay, brother Shad, please read this.
The two students studied.
Right, the two students studied. What I want you is, if this was written in Arabic, how would the word two students be written? That's what I want. I want the Arabic for two students in context of this sentence.
Talibani.
Why? Why not Talibaini?
Because two, dual. We are talking about dual.
But Talibaini is also two. Talibaini is also two. So why not Talibaini?
It's because the students are doing something.
Exactly. Now that is the precise answer. Not just because it is two, for the word, for a two number, there are two words. But you chose Talibani because the students are doing the action of studying. So Talibaini would be wrong. Talibani would be the correct answer. Good. MashaAllah. Next. Another. Somebody else. Quickly. We don't have time.
Sir.
Who?
Shamim.
Tell me your name. Shamim ma'am. Okay, Shamim ma'am, here is the sentence for you. Iqra'i min fadlik. Please read.
I met two students.
Okay, I want you to tell me the Arabic of two students in this sentence.
Talibaini or Talibaini.
Why-
Nas Wabjar.
No,
Because
no.
the action is done by somebody else.
Okay, here is it. Your answer is correct, but your justification is not so correct. You said nasb or jar. No, I am giving you a sentence. When the context is given, you should be sure, is this Talibaini nasb or jar? Here.
Okay. Talibaini Nas.
Yes, that is the correct answer. You can't say jar here because this is not after off. Yes, Talibaini used for nasb or jar, but in this context, I have given you the context. When context is given, I should be sure. So yes, this is I met two students. So if I ask, hey, who did you meet? The answer is two students. So it's answering the question who. Whenever anything that answers what, who, why, how, these are details. So Talibaini is nasb here. Talibaini is nasb here. Good, mashallah. Next, yes, third volunteer, quickly. Name, please tell your name. Name.
Wasim.
Okay, Wasim, brother Wasim. Here is the sentence for you. Ikra min fadlik. Please read.
The book of a student.
The book of a student. I want you to give me the Arabic of the word student in this context.
Talibun.
Talibun. Okay, so your number is correct. You use a singular, but Talibun is in the Rafa form. Rafa means it should be doer. Is the student doing something in this sentence? No, so it should not be the Rafa form then. It should be something else. Jar, because it is coming after the word of. The student word, the student is coming after the word of. Anything that comes after of should be jar. And the number is correct. Singular. So instead of Talibun, it should be Talibin. Everybody got it? How we are thinking? See, this is what you need to tune to. Once your brain gets tuned to this, reading in English and understanding, or reading in Arabic and understanding the status, number, gender, that's it. You are good to go. Take it further to the next notch. Okay? Good. Next, last one. Name, please. Who's Asma? Brother, sister Asma? Here is the one for you.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Please read.
Two students.
Yeah. Two students' grades. Now tell me, how will the word two students be written in this sentence?
Talibaini.
Talibaini. Okay. Now can you tell me why not Talibani? Why did you choose Talibaini only?
Because it's
Because it's
grades of the student. We are
so yes, the apostrophe should be reinterpreted as grades of two students. So two students' grades actually means grades of two students. The word two student is coming after of. So it should be jar, and the jar form of dual is Talibaini. Yes. So Now we need to see there is something called as weight of an ism. Every ism has got a weight. Okay, weight means wazan. Yeah, that's what we understand in Urdu. Weight, that's the same thing here. Okay. Now let me ask you a common sense question. If there is something already existing, whatever it is you want to imagine, something there is already existing. If I add to that thing, if I add something to that thing which is already there of the same type, will the weight increase, decrease, or remain same?
Increase.
It increase. Common sense question. It's common sense. If there is something already existing, if I add the same type of it to it, the weight will increase. Common sense. If you understand this, you will understand the weight concept automatically. You will understand the weight concept in ism automatically. So basically, the weight of an ism has two possibilities. The weight of an, if I ask you what's the weight of the ism, it could be either light or it could be heavy. Those are the two things. An ism can be light and ism can be heavy. Okay. So how do I understand this? How do I know whether it's light or heavy? Two things. If you are hearing the ism, if the word you are hearing, and when the ism is pronounced, you hear a noon at the end, the noon sound at the end, the ism is heavy. For example, if I say Muslimun, did you hear the noon sound?
Yes.
Yes. Muslimani, noon sound. Muslimina, noon sound. Muslimatin, noon sound. Muslimatani, noon sound. Every time you hear a noon sound, the ism is heavy. Let's say you are not hearing, you are looking at the word. Looking at the word, you are not hearing it. Now how do I know whether it's heavy or light? Well, if you see a ending sound on the word, ending sound means un, an, in, or tun, tan, tin. Or if you see a ending combination on it, ani, aini, una, ina, atun, atin, any of this. If you see it, the word is heavy. Two ways. If you are hearing and you hear a noon sound, it is heavy. If you are reading, if you see an ending sound or an ending combination, it is heavy. It is heavy. Okay? That's the definition of heavy and light. That's the definition of heavy and a noon sound is heard at the end of the word during pronunciation, then the word is heavy, else light. Is that clear to everyone? How to know whether a word is heavy or light? If you are hearing and you hear a noon sound, it's heavy. If you are looking at it, if you see ending sound or ending combination, it is heavy. Otherwise, all are light. Otherwise, all are light. Now, by default, all the isms are supposed to be heavy. By default. Again, by default means to begin with. उनका जो क्या बोलेंगे default, I don't know what's a default word for Urdu or Hindi, but anyway, हाँ? किसी ने कुछ word बोला default के लिए? Anybody here in PhD in Urdu or Hindi? Default के लिए word क्या है? Okay. Anyway, so the word here is how I explain it. If I come across an ism, I am expecting it to be heavy. That's the default. अगर मैं कुरान पढ़ रहा हूँ, हदीस पढ़ रहा हूँ, कोई भी ism आता है, you better be heavy. Why? Because that's normal. Heavy is normal. But if you are not heavy, that is abnormal. That means there is something I need to investigate. You understand? That means it is not in the original weight. The original weight is heavy. That's why we studied our Muslimun and Muslimatun table in the heavy form. Un, an, in, ani, taini, atun, atin, all are heavy. That's why. Why? Because that's the default. That's how the words are. So every time I am expecting an ism, it should be heavy. If it is not, it is abnormal. I need to investigate and find out why it is light. There are reasons for a word to be light. And that's beyond the scope at this moment. We'll study later down the line why it should be light and what are the reasons and everything. But at this moment, remember every ism has got a weight, heavy or light. Heavy means noon sound or ending combination or ending sound. And light means missing of this. No noon sound or no ending combination or no ending sound. That is light. Okay. So if I had to explain in a flowchart form, this is how it will look like. Okay. Status, weight, heavy or light. These are the two options. Okay. Then heavy means it has tanween on it. It means double dhamma, fatha, kasra or ending combination. And light means no noon sound. Okay. This is normal and expected. This is abnormal. Okay, this is default, and this is based on a situation that the ism becomes light. Okay, so anything that is abnormal, we investigate. Anything that is abnormal, we investigate. Everything that is normal, we just say, okay, so this is okay. This is what we are expecting. That's normal. So abnormal things should be investigated. Abnormal things should be investigated. So the basic simple formula is take a heavy word, get rid of the noon sound, the word becomes light. The word becomes light. That's the formula. Any heavy word, how to do it, we will see shortly, inshallah. But this is how you do it. Take a heavy word, somehow get rid of the noon sound, or the noon, or the ending combination, or the ending sound, the word becomes light. Okay, but mind you, just a word of caution, a small disclaimer. We are talking about the noon sound which we have added to the default word. Like for example, the word Muslim, the actual word is only mim, sin, lam, Muslim, that's it. And what did we do it? We added un to it. We added un to it. We added aini to it. We added una to it. These are additional to it. See, remember I asked you a definition in the beginning of this lightweight. If there is something already, if I add to it, you all said it becomes heavy. That's why these words are heavy. Because in the Muslimun table, the actual word is mim, sin, lam. Then we add un, an, in, ani, aini, una, ina. So it becomes heavy. It becomes heavy because those are the things added. Why did we add? So that we can indicate number, status, gender. Those are the things added at the end of the word. The actual word is Muslim. All the words, 9 words are Muslim, 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 Muslim. Different endings added to it. So it becomes heavy. But if I remove that, it becomes light. So what the point that I'm trying to drive is, you can only remove what you have added. You cannot just take a talwar sword and start removing on the noon sounds. Because some of the noon sounds are part of the word. They are not added to it. The ending sound and ending combinations are added to it. But there are like your favorite Salman. Salman. You can't get rid of that noon because that noon is part of the word. Uthman, Harun, Karun. You hear the noon sound? Yes. But you cannot remove that because we did not add it. That's not a part of ending sound or ending combination. That's a part of the word. So you can't make it light by chopping off the noon. Okay. So that's a disclaimer. Keep in mind. Basically, there are 2 types of noon. One is non-critical, other is critical. What is the non-critical one? The one that we add, ending sound and ending combination. Though you can get rid of because we have added it. It will not change the meaning of the word. It will change the status, number, gender. We'll see it. But the critical one, which are part of the word, you can't get rid of it. No. That has to remain. So what we are talking here, studying here, is the non-critical noon sound that is generated from tanween or ending combination. Okay, this is one disclaimer that you should be aware of. Now, quickly, how do we do it? How do we make a word light? By default, everything is heavy. Okay, so as I told you, all the words in the Muslimun table are heavy. A word with the ending sound can be made light by removing one of the accent, thereby getting rid of the tanween. So, what do you mean by tanween? I told you right from the beginning of the sessions, I have been telling tanween means double dhamma, double fasra, double fatha and double kasra. I made the fatha and kasra together, fasra. Okay, so double dhamma, double fatha, double kasra means tanween. Like for example, this our word Muslimun, it has double dhamma, which means it has a tanween on it. And since I can hear the noon sound or I can see the tanween, it is heavy. Okay, I want to make it light. Okay, make it light. What do? You just remove one of the dhamma. From Muslimun, remove one of the dhamma and you get Muslimu. Now Muslimu is the light form of Muslimun. The meaning remains same, the status remains same, the number remains same, the gender remains same. Muslimun was masculine, Muslimu is masculine. Muslimun was Rafa, Muslimu is Rafa. Muslimun was singular, Muslimu is singular. Nothing changed. What changed? Just the weight. That is heavy, this is light. That's how you are supposed to make a heavy word light without changing any of these basic properties. Status should not change, number should not change, gender should not change. Without touching these properties, can you make it light and get rid of the noon sound? This is how you do it. Another example, muhajirin. Muhajirin, double kasra. Okay. How do you remove it? Remove one of the kasra. You get muhajiri. You get muhajiri. Muhajiri. Brother Rais, can you mute your mic, please? So muhajirin becomes muhajiri. So what is muhajiri? Muhajiri is the light form of muhajirin, or vice versa. Muhajirin is the heavy form of muhajiri. Everybody clear? How to make a singular word or an ending sound or a tanween word into light form. The meaning is same, the status is same, the number is same, the gender is same. You should not disturb any of the properties, and if you can get rid of the noon sound, that's how we make it light. Now somebody might be, I know, thinking, why do you want to do this? There are reasons for it. We'll study. Right now, understand what I'm trying to share the knowledge with you. How to make light, and this is very important. Very important. The Qur'an is full of light and heavy words. If you don't understand this, you are going to mess up in the interpretation and understanding of the word and the meaning and the sentence. This is not light. I know the topic is light, but the impact is not light. The impact is very heavy on the understanding of the Arabic language. So try to get this in your brain. What is light? What is heavy? How to turn from heavy to light, and vice versa. Now, this is possible only for the word that have ending or a ending sound, which means tanween. But not all the words have tanween. Some of them have ending combination. So how do I make them light? Because ending combination words don't have double dhamma, fatha, kasra. So how do I make them light? Well, there is a different technique for it. Like for example, if you take the word muslimuna, okay, this doesn't have double dhamma, fatha, kasra. This has ending combination. Okay, the technique is a little bit different. So our problem, our issue with the word being heavy is the noon sound. That is the culprit for making it light. So if I can somehow just get rid of the noon sound, then my problem is solved. I achieve whatever I wanted. So in this case, the noon sound is not coming from tanween. See in the Muslimun word or Muhajirin word, there was no noon letter. There's no noon letter, but still we have a noon sound. That's because of the tanween. But here, the noon sound is coming from the actual noon letter. Okay. So what I can do is, I can drop the noon itself. I can drop the noon itself. Now if I drop the noon, the word becomes Muslimu. Now here, one thing that you should pay attention. What we are talking about is, we have issue with the noon sound. So you should only remove the part which we need it, the minimum required modification. Minimum is only noon, not the whole una. Even though we added una as a number, as a thing that indicates plural and rafa and number, no. We need to remove only noon sound, because if you get rid of the whole una, the word becomes singular, Muslimu. It's like the word above that you see. It will be the same, which means you disturb the number. You changed from plural to singular. That should not happen. So what do? We only drop the noon, keep the waw. The waw keeps us reminding, hey, don't consider me singular, I am plural, but in the light form. That waw tells you, because that's the difference between singular and the plural word, in the light form. In the heavy form, you can make it out, Muslimun and Muslimuna. But in the light form, the Muslimun becomes Muslimu and Muslimuna becomes Muslimu. Little bit stretched 2-3 times, 2-3 notch. So that wow tells you, oh my God, this is the light version of Muslimuna. Okay? For example, Mashrikina. Mashrikina. Okay, the problem is with the noon. Just drop the noon, only noon. And what do you get? Mashriki. The ya is there. That ya tells you, hey, I am plural. Oh, sorry, this is Mashrikaini. Mashrikaini, it is dual. So Mashrikai is the light form of it. That ya will remind you that this is not singular, this is dual. Mashrikai. Okay? So those are the two techniques that you use to make the word light, based on whether the word has an ending combination or ending sound. For ending sound, get rid of the one dhamma, one fatha, one kasra. For ending combination, just drop only the letter noon along with its harkat, along with its accent. Whatever remains is the light form. Tell me, any questions? Anything not understood?
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
बोलिए मैम, बोलिए मैम. वालेकुम सलाम.
Sir, actually, whenever I saw plural form, so after wow, there should be alif. For example, in Muslimu, Mim, Sin, Lam, Mim, Vav, Alif. So, mainly what I saw, Alif is added in the last. So it should be added in the Muslimu to make it plural.
Okay. No. I think you're mixing up the verbs and the ism. Whenever you have a verb ending in the waw, the last, like for example, nasaru, nasara is singular, nasara is dual, and nasaru, so that alif is added there to indicate that this is a fail and not an ism. That's a differentiation between ism and fail. That's where you add the alif. This is ism. We don't need alif here. There's no alif. There was no alif to begin with. So where are we adding this alif from? No, we don't add it. We add alif in the verb, in the fail part, to indicate that this is a fail and not confused with the light ism. Okay?
Means
Yes.
without alif, it is ism. And
Yes.
with alif, it will be a verb.
It will be a verb in the plural form. Yes, that's the reason that alif was added there. So that this confusion is not there. Okay? Good question.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I got it. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair.
Yeah, okay. Yes. Yes. Any other questions?
For this two tanween,
Mm-hmm.
for tanween, can we add, can we use al rule for this?
Al.
Like Muslimun to,
Can we add a al for the tanween? Is that a question?
Yes.
Okay. Let me answer it. Okay. Can we add? I was going to come to that. Okay. Anyway. So here is the thing. I think that is going to come up in the maybe day after tomorrow, or maybe a couple of days later. This question will be answered. But anyway, since the student asked, let me answer it for the betterment of all of you. Tanween, as I told you in the very first session, tanween gets translated in English as a. Muslimun, a Muslim. Okay? Muslimatun, a female Muslim. So whenever there is a tanween, we translate it in English as a or an. When you add al to a word, al translates as the. In English, the al will get translated as the. So if I say al, if I add al, now see, in English, we don't use the word the and the word a on the same word. I have to say either a house or the house. I don't say a the house or the a house. No, that's not a correct English. You either say a house or you say the house. A house is common, the house is specific, proper. In Arabic also, you either keep a tanween or add a al. If you add a al, now you said the, which means tanween should go away. So one of the dhamma, fatha, kasra will automatically go away the moment you add al. So if the word is muslimun, it means a Muslim. If I add al to it, it becomes al-muslimu, not al-muslimun. That would be wrong Arabic. Al-muslimun, because you're keeping the and a together. The translation will be the a Muslim. No, that's incorrect. So whenever al comes, tanween goes away. Al comes, tanween goes away. Tanween comes, al goes away. So al and tanween don't work together. So उनकी बनती नहीं है. जैसे ही al आएगा tanween निकल जाएगा. Okay? So that's how they work. Al and tanween will not go together. Does that answer your question?
yes,
Okay. Now here is one thing. As far as the weight is concerned, weight, wazan is concerned, if there is a word with al, so if I give you, hey, take this word, muslimin, make it light. So muslimin, okay, the light is muslimi. Okay. If I give you word muslimatun, make it light. Okay, al-muslimatu or muslimatu, that's a light form. But if I give you a word like al-muslimi, a word with al, then what we do is, any word with al, we don't do the weight part of it. हम उसका वजन लाइट भी नहीं बोलते, हैवी भी नहीं बोलते, हम उसका वेट क्लासिफिकेशन नहीं करते. क्यों नहीं करते? आई विल टेल यू लिटिल बिट लेटर कि उसका वजन हम बाकी सब करेंगे, हम उसका स्टेटस करेंगे, नंबर करेंगे, जेंडर करेंगे, टाइप करेंगे, सब करेंगे जो वर्ड अल के साथ है, लेकिन उसका लाइट हैवी नहीं करेंगे. वी विल जस्ट से दिस इज इनएलिजिबल वर्ड. अगर एक वर्ड अल के साथ है and somebody asks you, tell me the weight of it, no, we don't do weight. We neither say this is light, we neither say this is heavy, because it is with al. Okay, and there's a reason for it. I can't explain now. I will explain you later. Although I already explained half of it, that was the reason. But the remaining half I will tell you soon, inshallah. Okay, so just remember that every ism has got a weight. Weight is high, heavy or light. Heavy means noon sound or ending sound or ending combination. Light means no noon sound. If there is a word with the tanween, get rid of one dhamma fatha kasra, it will become light. If the word is with the ending combination, then just drop the noon and whatever remains is the light form. What does this mean is, for those of you who have already worked and memorized the Muslimun table and Muslimatun table, that is a good news for you. Now you need to only work on the light table. So now we can make a new table of Muslimun in the light form. And how does that look? It looks like this. So for those of you who have not worked on the table, here is one more table for you. And if you continue like this, procrastinating, a time will come, your table will be full of lot of tables and you will be buried under it. And that will be the end of your Arabic learning journey, unfortunately. That's why, though some things should be handled at the right time. So for those of you who have already memorized the male table, feminine table, now all you need to do is just memorize this new table and you know the logic of it. So you can even make the table in your on the fly itself. Muslimun becomes Muslimu. Okay, so the new table is Muslimu, Muslima, Muslimi, Muslima, Muslimai, Muslimai, Muslimu, Muslimi, Muslimi. And same thing with the feminine. Just don't pronounce the noon and you got a new table now. Okay? Fine. I think that's all I had for today's session. If you have any question, you can shoot it, else we are good to stop here. Okay, so I will take that as no questions. So inshallah we will stop here and meet tomorrow inshallah. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.